Hello, this is Lori.
This is Peter.
And this is Hamilton.
Welcome back, Hamilton. You missed out on the last one. We stuck
That's
one in
all
on
right,
you.
though.
We are with Action Heroes LA, the subsidiary of Heroes Character Rental Service. Back with another review, this time with the Many Saints of Newark.
Yes.
Which is a sequel to the popular HBO television series, The Sopranos.
Well, it's not a sequel. It's
It's a prequel. It's a prequel to the popular television series, The Sopranos, which is interesting to get a movie. You guys, we talked about this. I was kind of a semi-regular watcher of The Sopranos. I don't think...
Right, I never watched. I've seen maybe parts of episodes, but I never was like a Sopranos person.
And I'm kind of like in the middle. Once The Sopranos was off,
Okay.
I actually
You started watching
started watching some stuff here and there, and I was going, oh, wow, this is interesting.
Okay. So, yeah, I got in around season 3-ish, I think. It was like, that was one of those water cooler shows when you had water cooler shows. It was one of those back then.
Remember
we didn't, before streaming and when everybody just binged whenever they wanted. And you had to be there Sunday night because the new episode of The Sopranos was on. So you go home, you go to work Monday and you're like, did you see what happened?
Right.
It was one of those shows, which is great. So at my work, everybody was watching it, and that would be I was like, okay, I got to get into, and I really enjoyed the show. It's not generally a type of show that I would watch, but it's.
I'll say I learned a lot about the show from watching the movie with someone who knew a lot about the show.
it.
So yeah, it was overall. I thought it was entertaining. What would I say was I like the black actor. I don't know his name.
Oh, I'll get into it, but I just wanted to say this: like The Sopranos came out around the year 2000, and I think that show kind of kicked off like this golden age of television that we're going in, where TV is like a lot of times gotten a lot better than movies. We have these great series where they can take risk, and I mean, what you see here, the violence you see here, and language and all that was on the show, and it's storytelling. But this prequel is starring Ray Liotta. Also, Leslie Odom Jr. is the black actor you're referring to, who was in Hamilton, and he's been in a lot of stuff. He's a fantastic actor, and what's really interesting, the star of the Sopranos was James Gandalfini, who sadly passed away a couple years ago. His son is playing his character, a young Tony Soprano, Michael Gandalfini, in the role. Writer and creator of the show, David Chase, is back writing this, and it's directed by Alan Taylor. I don't know if that's important with this as much as David Chase is. So you guys, you had an impression, like you said, you found it entertaining. You're not as...
I mean, I liked it, but I feel like I've kind of seen this film before. Back in the 90s, it was called Goodfellas, but I'm not gonna go there.
Yeah,
it's a good movie. It's entertaining.
How about you, Peter?
Well, I thought because I did look at a few Soprano episodes, I was blown away by the movie.
Yeah. Were you familiar with some of the characters, kind of like when they popped
some
up?
Of the characters, but I think the way that a character could be a pronounced character and then killed off.
Yeah. That was the show.
Are we doing spoilers in this review, yo?
Okay. Well, we always tend to do spoilers, so if you don't know by now, we try to say spoiler.
Because I would like to talk about this film, but you have to get into the spoilers of it.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get into it.
I really
if you
like
haven't watched it,
the whole thing with the Ray Liotta and the girl. I forgot. I don't know her name. The actress.
I don't know. I didn't get the actress's name.
Yeah.
But Ray Liotta actually plays two parts in this movie.
Yeah,
he plays brothers.
First.
And if you watch The Sopranos, this story focuses on, you remember Christopher, the character Christopher. It's his dad, and how his dad, Maltasanti is their last name, had an influence over Tony Soprano. Even not so much his own parents. It was this uncle, and which I found interesting. What were you going with that? You mentioned the father of this character, Dicky Moltisanto, Christopher's dad, is played by Ray Liotta.
Right.
And he plays, and did you want to get into...
Yeah, no, it was just confusing because I realized the character had been killed, and then this other character pops in,
and it's the same actor.
You didn't see them.
Did they even mention if they were twins or something? They said they were brothers.
They don't even get into it. That's why I thought it was confusing. They just.
I was like,
it's not clear. I don't think.
Yeah.
So it was like.
I thought they did kill off Ray Liotta kind of early, so I was like, okay, I get it now.
I like the story of him bringing this Italian.
His Italian wife
back,
and
then
she was like, her parents had died in Italy, and she really had no options, so she was kind of like almost like mail order bride type of thing, and brought to the country.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
That's another one of those stories thread, because like her, I don't know if you want to call it ambition, and she just wanted to be, he married a wife. He ended up dying off, but the son ended up starting an affair with her. She was his side piece, but she wanted her own life. She wanted to become like have a beauty parlor, and so it's just. But he kept oppressing her, because he just wanted her as a side piece, and not, you don't have to do anything. I'll provide a house for you, and we have all these romantic getaways. Whatever you need, I can provide for you.
Well, it was crazy because like she basically was one of the most gangster characters in the whole film. I noticed that. I was like, wow, she'd go get someone to knock. Well, Ray Liotta's character, he dropped her down the stairs, and then she goes and gets his son to,
I don't know. I didn't get the impression that she.
I got the impression she did it with the intention of getting this younger son to.
I didn't feel that way. I thought, the younger son he had his own issues in terms of how his dad treated his mother, his actual mother.
Right.
And I thought that was more the motivation of why that things went the way it did with his kid.
It, though, is because then
his dad,
she gets with the son. And then she gets with that black dude. So that's like one of the most gangster things anyone could do. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, and to that point too, and this is just coming from a different perspective. Like, women of that era didn't have options, so that's jumping from relationship and using whatever manipulation to get whatever they needed was kind of the only path.
I'm not.
I know you're not criticizing that. I think that's probably why I don't see it as a like manipulative thing. It's like, you do what you got to do when you don't have.
She definitely had the heart of a gangster. That's what I'm trying to say. Like she had a gangster mentality.
I don't
You
agree.
don't think so?
I
what do you think, Peter?
How do you? Yeah, you're a tiebreaker.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
I didn't get that.
I don't think she went in there like that. I think a lot of those things were happening around her, like the son, and he happened to do this because of how his mother was treated.
Right. Yeah, well, he took out his
person.
Right.
I think
and
a lot of
obviously
things
she's an attractive woman, so he got involved with her.
But she was young.
I can't back down from this one.
No.
I still think she's the most gangster character in the whole thing.
But the thing is, how I look at it though was that this is a gangster movie.
It is a gangster.
That's what I'm saying. She fit right in.
She kind of, she did some gangster stuff, and I love. Although it was derogatory, I love the way she spoke about the black character.
Okay.
And it was just like.
You mean when she said he didn't mean nothing to her?
No, there's a few other things, but it's she.
I missed the part that that's why.
Oh yeah,
did you see that part?
I think
I think you went out.
Because I think I had to go.
I think you went out. That's why I was
so
telling
that
you
could
to
be
read
okay.
stuff.
Yeah, I was paying attention.
She was one of the most gangster characters in the movie.
As someone who watches Sopranos, I should not be surprised.
Oh yeah. She said some things that I was like, ooh, okay. But yeah, you can definitely see how Tony became Tony.
Tony, it was interesting. You know, I'm the show. There's particularly the first couple seasons, which I did. I didn't become a regular rocker, but I did see a lot of the first couple seasons. Actually, his mom, the relationship between him and his mom was just like, wow. It was a lot of the kind of psychological damage she did to him. Yeah, you're which right. For this movie, I found. I mean, replacing Nancy Marchand with somebody, that was going to be a tough thing to go. And the actress does a good job, but I'm not sure if the writing too much indicates what maybe I was expecting to see from a young Livia Soprano and raising Janice and Tony, to what I know they turned out to be.
Right.
But I mean, there is one scene in there where she's talking to the school counselor, which you're like, okay. And it's one of those great kind of Soprano scene. You're like, what are they implying? Are they implying what my imagination goes to? Mm. But they don't really specifically say.
Right, right.
They don't clarify it. And it just kind of makes you go,
One thing I want to add, you guys, is even though I never watched the original show, I like how this prequel ties into the original show with you were telling me about the scenes when he's seeing the counselor at school,
right?
And it's mirroring the
his later, because the whole thing is about him going to a psychologist later on, and to deal with his emotional issue.
I thought that was interesting because he I still got a sense of continuity with the show, that ties into it.
And I'll get into some more ties. But.
Well, looking at this show, just for itself, looking at this movie, the Saints of
the
Newark,
Many Saints of Newark,
Many Saints of Newark, and I am not a talk to the screen guy. Mm-hmm. I have the complexion of a talk to the screen guy.
Well, in here we talk to the screen. So I totally encourage it.
I eat fried chicken and watermelon too. So. What can I say?
Well,
I like fried chicken and watermelon.
I like watermelon.
Yeah, but
I don't eat fried chicken as much. But
Dave Chappelle said about
really,
fried chicken.
There couldn't be this many fried chicken stands and watermelon be such a popular crop if everybody else wasn't eating it. So we're only 16%. So
that's what I'm saying. That's my point. Who doesn't like fried chicken or watermelon? Who are these people who don't?
I don't think the Colonel was passing. But
but as this movie goes, when stuff was happening, good thing I don't have a gun. Because I'd have shot up the screen.
Oh. Shot up the wall.
Yeah.
It's a very stylishly violent film. I mean, but it's brutal. Yeah. But I guess, obviously
it's a very, very brutal film.
But it was interesting too. It wasn't just brutal. It was
total. Nothing was just brutality.
It wasn't gratuitous for its sake. You're like, well, these are mob people. You expect them to
there you go.
Take a what was a tire thing?
Jack,
the gauge.
The power jack.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway.
No, but I mean that's how the show was. So it's kind of like a lot of it seemed like nothing's going on, and then they do something that's like, oh yeah, these guys are not to be messed with.
Yeah.
But aside from a lot of it, if you're a fan of the show, a lot of it, they did a phenomenal job of finding younger actors for the roles of the characters, seeing the younger version of some of the characters that are in the show, like Big Pussy or Silvio, Polly Walnuts.
I thought that was a
Uncle
trip
June,
when people you would
I'm not going to surprise the last one I saw on the screen, which I jumped up on.
I thought it was a trip, Laurie, when we saw scenes where you'd see a gravestone with someone's name, you'd be reminded of the character.
Oh, I was like, that's
I thought that was a trip.
Yeah, I mean, they
put little Easter eggs throughout.
I did that, and there's a lot of movies who will just use that to get away with it. I think of Coming to America 2, which is was relying on just the appearance of certain characters and your familiarity with them. But no, this had an interesting storyline going in. I found it as engaging as watching the series, and maybe because it's been a few years since I've seen the series, it was nice to kind of go back and visit that violent, crazy world.
Right.
Well, but I tell you, for a prequel, this was done really well.
Yeah.
I was very impressed, not being a huge Soprano fan or someone who had looked at, but just what I had seen, this blew me away.
Right. Now, and it would be interesting because I wouldn't consider myself a hardcore fan. You wouldn't. Hamilton, you don't have that much experience with the show. So hardcore fans may differ. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed going back to that world. I did want to bring up, you mentioned it, Goodfellas is a movie that it's a blind spot for me. I haven't really seen it. It's kind of one I've seen bits and pieces
a classic.
Here and there.
It's Martin
but not all the way
Scorsese,
through.
but it's one of his best films.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, I hear tons of great things about it. So to see it,
That's
I've never heard the criticism of The Sopranos it's just Goodfellas. In a way, it is.
It's still good.
Yeah.
It's just I love Goodfellas. It's hard to watch other films that have that same feel because I feel like there's only one Goodfellas.
And it's probably hard. Like after the Godfather movies, the first two, it was probably hard to watch mafia movies until Goodfellas. Kind of like
I don't know. It's Martin Scorsese. He's a great filmmaker, and it's really one of his best films. One of his most entertaining.
So
films.
I would have to. I don't know how to gauge that compared to the show that I really, really love, and almost pretty much loved. I love this show, and so even though
I didn't mean to start.
No. I don't. I'm not starting a feud, but it's just I'm just like in case
I was just giving
my perspective of why I particularly kind of love. I really enjoyed this movie, and I love the series. And it's like I have very little exposure to Goodfellas, where I might say, it was all right.
I think we should watch it, Laurie. I'm gonna suggest it next time we.
Yeah.
Whatever. We can watch it tonight if you want. To be honest, it's really good.
I might need a little break after this one.
Oh yeah.
But did you want to talk about Leslie Odom Jr.? He plays. It's just interesting.
I think he has a bright future.
He's a great. He was in Hamilton. Another movie he was in Harriet, the movie Harriet.
Oh wow!
Too.
Okay, I think you mentioned that.
He's been in a lot of.
I'm not too familiar with him, but
he is
I was
also
impressed with him
in One Night in Miami playing Sam Cooke.
Yeah,
and somebody who can not only act but sing Sam Cooke songs.
Right.
And he did a fantastic job.
Maybe we should watch
an actor
that too,
I really like.
Though it's old.
Yeah, One Night in Miami is a great movie. But you just wanted to bring it up here. His character is kind of new to this world, which is interesting. As far as I know, I don't recall another character like that. But
you're right.
Being Kramer, but it was interesting. He was kind of one of the. I guess he was kind of a maid guy that was working for Christopher's dad, and he wanted to go off on his own. He's like, why are we letting the Italian guys run everything? Why don't we do our own stuff? Yeah. And it's kind of funny because how they're. And the show did this, how they're kind of weaving things. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, whoever offs whom, you think it's building up, okay, that person is going to take this guy out. And nope, left turn, somebody else does it. And you're like, what? And he does it over kind of like just, you would think was a minor kind of altercation but
right.
And it's a hilarious scene, and it's kind of one of the things that made me remember the show. There was stuff like that all the time and stuff. You're just like, I was expecting them to get taken out by this person, but because
I would say overall this film is good on its own merits. It's entertaining. That's a big thing for me. It has to be entertaining. It is entertaining.
I mean, it says a lot if you're not familiar with the show, but you still enjoyed the movie without without having that. Oh, that's so and so. Oh, that's so and so.
Exactly.
Yeah, having
you don't
that
have
familiarity.
to be familiar with the show to enjoy the movie. Yeah.
So, shall we wrap it up?
Yes. I hope I didn't.
Anybody have any final words about the Many Saints of Newark? Michael Gandalfini. I mean, I thought there would be more focus on the Tony Soprano character. He's kind of peripheral to this, but it does tie in at the end. You get to see You know, what kind of launches him to where he gets to.
Right.
But so if you're expecting it to really be about him, it kind of isn't.
Right.
And so that's the only thing. Yeah, if you're your expectations might be a little disappointing if you're expecting that. It's the only thing I could say.
Right.
But
oh yeah, well there is one little thing that I didn't like, that Rosie Perez's character didn't do a whole lot.
Rosie Perez's character was on a whole other film set, apparently.
I missed her. Was she in this? I didn't see her at all.
No, she was not.
Rosie Perez.
Man,
I think you're mixing her up with another movie, Peter.
He's always mixing her up.
All right, let's go look through the casting.
Cast listing. Rosie Perez is not in this movie.
I was just joking with you.
See, Satriel.
Peter's trying to act like she was in this movie.
So let's wrap this up. The Many Saints of Newark is on HBO Max. I think it might be in theaters at the same time as well. And if you watch it, let us know what you think. If you're a Sopranos fan, not a Sopranos fan, leave some comments, y'all. I'm not asking. We don't even ask you to like or subscribe or anything. I don't care if you do that stuff, but I'd love to hear what people's opinions are.
Yeah.
So you know, especially if they have a different take than us. So we are out. Like a mob hit. I don't know.
I like how you tie those things together like that. That's crazy.
We are out like a Tony Soprano taking a hit out on somebody. We'll see you next time, y'all. I gotta stop it.